Hi. All right, so we made it to Delta Junction, and the next step will be the cabin where we'll be spending the summer. My partner is from Alaska. And again, I'm sorry, my name's Paula Bowden. I'm a clairvoyant coach, and been coming to you for the last few days on these live videos and then posting them with an intention of helping folks understand about grounding and understanding their own space a little bit. So one of the things I know to be absolutely true is that the space around you isn't empty. And so what that means is that when we're standing here, as I'm standing here on this piece of property with all these, I think they're cottonwood or birch trees behind me, they are, it looks as though there's nothing around me, and yet that's not true. What is true is that the space around you, the space around me right now, this space that's right here around me, isn't empty. It's filled with energy. And what the energy it's filled with depends on what it is that I've been doing. So for instance, one of the things that you notice in Alaska is that people tend to leave things, like when they're done with a car or they're done with a piece of metal, they just leave it out in the wilderness to corrode. So an example of that is, as I turn around here, behind me is this big old, looks like it was a place, a chimney of some sort, place where people burn things, right? A stove or something like that. And it's been sitting there for a long time and it's been rusting. So they might still use it, it's hard to tell. But this is an example of what is in our space. There's stuff in our space around us that is been there for a long time and we haven't paid any attention to it. So in relation to that, I've been asked this week a lot about depression. As people have been watching these different videos, they've come to me and said, hey, you know, I'm depressed, what can I do about it? So I wanted to talk a little bit about depression in relation to stuff in our space and in relation to being clairvoyant. So I'm not a doctor, and in no way am I prescribing, diagnosing, or otherwise giving anybody a reason to not seek out medical attention. It's not something I would ever do. I've had friends who have needed to have some sort of an anti-anxiety or antidepressant, or if they're diabetic, their insulin, whatever it happens to be, they need something for their physical body to survive on this planet. And I am never going to be one that says stop taking it. It's not what I do. However, what I do know is that depression has a couple of different causes. So one of the causes that depression has is when we're not in alignment with ourselves. So it's possible you have a chemical imbalance in your brain. By all means, take the medicine. But it's also possible that what's happening is that you're simply not in alignment. So I've had my own bouts of depression. I've been, thought of killing myself on occasion in my life because things get really, really hard. And it's not that I want to die. It's not that I believe anybody really wants to die when they're feeling that way. It's just that life gets so overwhelming at times, especially if you're sensitive, that to live in the life the way that we have to live it, day to day, going to jobs, getting paid for our work, and if we're not in alignment with who we are and with our connection with who we are, then it can really be depressing. If we are saying yes when we mean no, or saying no when we really mean yes, when we are allowing other people to treat us poorly by not stepping out of a relationship, either because we can't, because of financial reasons, or because we don't know how, when we believe that what other people have done in our lives is something that is wrong or bad, that's a huge one. That can cause such incredible deep depression. And the reason being is that as we sit in a place of judgment about how other people behave, instead of simply getting out of a situation, then it makes it really tough to be in alignment with ourselves. So it's sort of a complicated concept, but if somebody is treating us badly, if we can get out of that situation, we need to get out of that situation because we can't change other people. If we're children and other people treat us badly, or like in my case, my mom died when I was really young, if I believe that to be bad, then it's going to cause me a lot of pain. So maybe it's just something that happens. Maybe things that happen in our lives might feel bad, but they're just simply things that happen, and they're not necessarily a cause for pain or alarm or judgment about them being bad. Does that make sense? I hope so. When my mom died, most people would say, oh, that's such a sad thing for an 8-year-old girl's mother to die. But in my case, it may have been one of the best things that could have happened, because she was really, really sick for a really long time. And her death allowed me to be in a different environment. And it allowed me to grow strong in a lot of ways. So things definitely happen in our lives, and they're not necessarily bad, even though they can feel bad in the moment. So what we can do on an energetic and psychic level is we can take a look at the origin of that depression. So this is how that works. You stand there, or you sit there, or you lie there in bed, and you close your eyes. And when you close your eyes, what that does is it just gives you a sense of where you are. When I close my eyes just now, I can feel my feet on the ground. So, here I am. It's a little chilly, so I've got my parka on. Alaskans think I'm silly because the sun's shining, therefore it must be warm. And I stand here, and you see I'm out here, and I look down, and I can feel my feet. So that's funny, because the Facebook Live won't let me show you my feet, so I can't show you my feet. But anyway, I can feel my feet on the ground, which I couldn't necessarily before because I wasn't here in my body. So I feel my feet on the ground, and I make that connection from the base of my spine all the way down to the center of the earth. I say hello to the earth and the sky energy, and I start to run that energy. And I start to check out my aura. So the space around us in Sanskrit is called the aura, and it's just the energy body. It's just the space right around us. And it's what we're in charge of. And if I'm feeling depressed, what I do is I take a look at that. So I come out onto my screen, and I take a look at myself. I see an image of myself, and I say, what's in there that doesn't belong to me? What's in there that doesn't belong to me? And then I ground that out. And what I often find that gets in my space that doesn't belong to me is where I'm trying to help, heal, or fix people. That's the number one thing that causes me to be depressed, because I can't help, heal, or fix people. All I can do is invite people to change. And whether or not somebody changes, it's completely up to them. So if I'm doing healing work on somebody, I have my hands on them. If I'm doing a psychic reading or a clairvoyant coaching session, and I'm looking at you, and I'm seeing you as a spirit and a body, on an energetic level, I can say, wow, it looks like you've got some blue energy in your heart. All right. That's awesome. So that blue energy doesn't belong to you. It's energy that you've brought in from somebody else. It's energy that you've brought in from somebody else, and you've done it to try and heal their pain. But because this energy doesn't belong to you, it's actually causing you pain. And so go ahead and create that grounding cord and release that blue energy in your heart. And then find a color. In this case, it looks like yellow would be a really good color for you. Find that yellow color to bring in and start to replace it. Start to replace that blue energy that doesn't belong to you with a yellow energy that does. And then all of a sudden, the depression starts to lift, because you are in your body and you are in alignment with you. And so we just have a couple more days left of May, and I'm offering these sessions which will help you to release some of this pain. So go ahead and think about that. And as you are paying attention to you and your body and the space around you, realize that you can release energy that doesn't belong to you, which can at the same time release depression. And as you release depression, you can start to release the beliefs that keep you stuck. Yes, you think to yourself, that was bad. It was bad that my father died. It was bad that my mother died. But maybe it wasn't. Maybe all that happened was that they died, and it wasn't actually a bad thing, even though it may have felt bad to you in the moment. All right. Good job releasing today, and let me know how I can help.